Hey everyone, I built this bike a couple of weeks ago, but I bought a new phone without syncing all the footage, so I've lost all of that. So today, instead of doing a build video and then riding it, it's just going to be a bit of a talk about it and then ride. So this is a Tarini that I've had for a few years now. It's a New Zealand company that used to exist back in the day, but they're no longer around. I bought it off Trade Me a while ago for about $6. It's quite a cool frame set, 4130 chromoly tubing, and it's a really good size. It has this sort of Ritchie style seat cluster, chainstay U-brakes. You can see here that I've used some rust converter to treat some rust in the past. These reverse or horizontal dropouts. And it's got a 21.1 millimeter internal diameter stereo tube, and quite a nice looking narrow fork on it. It's got quite a cool paint job on it, the yellow splatter and then the strange looking sort of party style decals on it. So this setup, we've got some handlebars from a friend. Pretty much this entire bike was like a parts bin setup. So I did remove some of the rust using tinfoil and WD-40, and then I just sealed it off with some Penetrol. Came out pretty good. You can see the handlebars are wet here, so you can't really see them too much, but pretty happy with the result. So I don't know what these handlebars are, but there are some ones on eBay, like the walled ones, that look pretty similar. So in the parts bin, I had these Shimano 600 Arabesque cranks. At least I had the drive side, but I didn't have the non-drive side. So I just used one that was the same sort of length and spacing and stuff. Use these gusset pedals. They have pretty good grip. To make the cruiser wheels fit in the frame, because the frame is a little bit wider, I just spaced them out because the axle was quite wide. So I just used some nuts and washers and stuff to space it a little bit. So it is a high stop rear wheel, and I just did a DIY little bracket to mount it to. So this is a coaster brake, so you do want it nice and tight. You don't want the brake arm to be slapping around or anything, but that little bracket ain't going anywhere. You can see these decals close up. They look pretty cool. Matching one on the fork as well. So these wheels were just off a cheap cruiser bike. I think I paid about $30 or $40 for the bike. In New Zealand dollars, I think this bike entirely owes me less than $100. The seat and like a few other parts I picked up secondhand, so I just had them sitting around in my parts bin from other bikes and stuff. The tyres that came on the wheels are these really weird looking, quite cheap tyres. I couldn't find any information on them, but they look pretty cool. They're quite stiff and they don't really have much off-road grip, especially if you turn or if you lean in them, because they don't really have any sidewall grip or anything. But they're the right price and they look pretty weird, so they suited this bike, I think. This gravel ride that I'm doing now is up in Te Tarangi in West Auckland, New Zealand. So most of this video will be riding, but I'll talk about some future builds and stuff later on. Klunker. It's been a long time since I've had like a clunker setup, single speed and stuff. I do have a clunked out GT Slipstream, that's 7-speed, and it's a lot more practical because I can actually go up hills and stuff. But to have a single speed, it's just so cool again. Beautiful views up here. This could be the dirtiest these cranks have ever been. There's a fun fact which nobody really knows about me and my history with clunkers, is that the first official video that I posted on this channel as Toasty Rides is a Schwinn clunker that I had, but I didn't post it. So I think it's actually still here, set to private. So I might chuck that up sometime or download it and edit it and then re-upload it. So it was just like a bit of an overview of the Schwinn as I redid it. So I had it built up, sort of rusted out and stuff, and it looked really cool. And I rode it up here on this track quite a few times and out at Ambury Farm and stuff. But it was just too small for me, so it was quite short. So I needed quite a bit of seat post, and because it had quite a long and skinny seat post, I bent a couple of them, and I just got over it after a while. It was just didn't make much sense to keep like straightening out and getting these seat posts for it. So after a while, I just decided to clean it up, repaint it, and then sell it on. But I've always had that I want another clunker in the back of my head. I did build up that GT Slipstream that I still have, but I think because it's 7-speed, it doesn't have quite the same feel of it. So I've always sort of wanted to build up another single speed or clunker setup, and specifically on this Tarini frame, because I think it's just so perfect for it. It's cheap, looks like a really good size for me. It's nice geometry, so it actually handles quite well, and I could pretty easily set it up as a clunker.
We still go. Oh. The gearing was a bit lower. Oh, don't want to go that way. Go this way. The gearing is a bit low. We would have been right through there. But just running what we got. Not gonna. How did we make it over there? It's a bit better. Yeah. Typical rookie coaster move. Went to level the pedals out and just brakes. I wouldn't have been able to ride up through this anyway. So sometimes people ask if the back sweep gets in the way of your knees. Sometimes sort of when doing tight turns and stuff, but you can just move your knee out of the way. Normally when doing super tight turns and stuff, you can either like drop the knee, or you can still pedal around it. I don't know if you can see off to the left there, but just move your knee down and around it. Zoop, zoop. Even with bar end shifters on like moustache bars and stuff, never really had an issue with hitting my knee because you're pretty aware of where the handlebars are. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for this video. I would like to change up the gearing on this bike at some point. It's okay for flat gravel rides and stuff, but I don't think I could do many commutes or many steep hills on it. So I think I'll lower it down or put like a larger sprocket on the rear hub at some point. The tyres as well, they're not really suited to much, I guess. Some cruising and stuff, they'd probably be okay if I pumped them up hard, but off-road riding and stuff, they're quite slow and they just don't have terribly much grip through the mud. We're coming into winter now, so I'm going to need something that's a bit more aggressive, but also something quite fast rolling. So maybe like a Maxxis Ardent or something like that. I quite like those. I just don't know how much tyre clearance it has. The restricting factor before was the chainstay U-brake, so the brake arm actually fouled on the tyre, but I think I should clear about a 2.1 or a 2.2 hopefully without the rear brake, so we'll see. The next video is going to be on the Saracen Conquest that Monkey Shred sent over from England. I've had it sitting around for a year or so now, but it's finally time to build it back up. So it's going to get a full paint job and everything. After that, it's going to be this Cannondale Hooligan, and then I've got a couple other bikes in the queue as well. But that's all for today. Thanks for checking the video out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!